into a playoff. But is it enough of a sort of foundation going forward and just everything you learned this year about the league to feel good about going forward, I guess?
No, yeah, I think, obviously it's not the record that we wanted. The exit player meetings have been awesome just to talk about the season. Coming into this year, I think we had 6 W players that have been rotation players, Bec and Soph and our other 4. I think they played a total of 11 games together just because of injuries and stuff like that. So to get done what we got done, I think, especially after the year that they had before, I think it's a great step in the right direction. I know our group really believes in each other. Obviously losing 0-2 in Minnesota is not what we wanted, but we had a chance to win game 1. There was a big call with 1:18 to go that could have went either way, and if that goes the other way, you get game 1. We're for sure coming here to Phoenix for game 3. So I think it was a good step in the right direction, and obviously we need to keep getting better.
For a legacy franchise like this, is there more pressure not just to get to the playoffs, but actually try to win it, especially after what you see in another legacy market like Kurt Miller losing his job in LA despite what they went through this year with the injuries and such? And you had injuries too that your team dealt with as well.
Yeah, I think the organization here speaks for itself. They've won championships. We've got an owner that wants to win championships, and that's our goal. And we didn't reach that goal this year. We need to continue to get better, and that's the goal.
You go from the NBA to the WNBA. It's quite a transition, especially for you being a head coach. What things have you learned since taking the head coaching spot here? What have you learned about the league since being here?
Yeah, I think the first thing I've learned is it's a great league. There's only 12 teams. Obviously, we're adding more, but really you've got 4 teams that the top 4 seeds in our league are really, really good. They've a championship caliber team, and then the next 4 had a legit chance. And so every night it's a challenge. There's not many games where you can just go through the motions and get a win. There's only 40 games, so all the games are competitive. But yeah, I learned a lot. Going into Minnesota for the first time for the playoffs was a great experience for me personally. I think obviously there are some differences from the NBA to the WNBA, and I'm going to feel more comfortable a year from now.
Coach, heading into the offseason, what do you think is going to be the biggest need heading into free agency and just the offseason?
Yeah, we're not even 24 hours from our season finishing last night, but Nick and our front office had a really good offseason last year, and getting Cloud, Ka, and Bec. I would expect us to try to make some more moves this offseason, and so that's part of the job, is to continue to get better, and that's the goal.
Coach, Tosh said last night about this 2-year plan about rebuilding the team once you first joined in February, and just trying to build around that core 3. Without D, who's not here today, what is it like to try to fill that void if she does retire and continuing that 2-year rebuild plan?
Yeah, something I talked to the players about today is just, if D decides to come back or not. If she's not here, not only the play on the court, but just her daily leadership, her daily commitment to the group and the standard that she sets. Obviously, when an icon like that is here, maybe people are unwilling to step into that. But if she's not here, we're going to need others to step up, and that's going to be a big challenge for us.
Yeah.
I do. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
So I have 2 questions. So can you talk about Diana Taurasi's legacy, especially after you coached her in your first year?
Yeah. Her legacy speaks for itself. Just all the records that she holds, the number of years that she's put in, her commitment. Last night after the game, seeing all the, USA basketball executives at the game, just the respect, the standing ovation for an opposing team to stand up for her as she fouls out her last game. You know, her career is unmatched, and so I'm super thankful for that opportunity to be able to coach her.
And if Diana Taurasi were to return for one more season, how much would it mean to leave her before she retires to a fourth championship?
Yeah, you know, I think we're a long ways from if she comes back or not. You know, we're going to leave that decision to her.
Coach, between all this attention that women's basketball has been getting, you guys have the Olympics this season, hosted the All-Star game. I know it's your first year, but what are your impressions on how different this season has been?
Yeah, I can't compare it to years past, but you know, just hearing our team talk about the recognition on ESPN and the crowds that we're seeing, the hotels that we're staying in compared, you know, are equal to the NBA. The step that our league has made, the commitment to do charter flights, talking to the flight attendants on those flights that have had NBA teams for years, and now how excited they are to now be having the W traveling on those charters. It's awesome, and I think you know, obviously for me, it's a big reason why I wanted to come to this league. I think they were ready to make that change, and they deserve it. They deserve it. They're being treated the way that they need to be treated.
Do you
Okay,
think
one
some
more.
of the players kind of leaned on you for advice, you know, coming from the NBA and going through this transition?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a stressful transition. Hopefully it made their life a lot easier with the hotels and the flights and all that stuff. So the recognition and spotlight that has been given, I think that our league is ready for it.
Hey, Coach, if you could describe this season as a whole,
Yeah.
how would you describe how it went through its ups and downs? What would be your best description of this season for you and your team?
Yeah, I would describe it as an exciting season. We got off to a really good start, probably the honeymoon phase. Every year is different. The Olympic year brought different challenges to us. I don't think we were as good after the Olympic break for a number of reasons. But I think at the end, you know, we went in to play a playoff series, the 2 seed, you know, the 7 seed versus the 2, and played 2 competitive games with a chance to win game 1. It's unfortunate that the series was set up 2 on the road to start. You know, hopefully in the future it goes 1-1-1. You know, it's disappointing that the X Factor didn't have an opportunity to get a whole playoff game. I mean, we've got one of the best crowds, if not the best crowd in the W. And, you know, you wish that we would have been rewarded with one of those home games.
Last question, Jeff.
We talked periodically about Bec Allen, and again, not having her at all
Yep.
after the Olympics. Like, you see what Collier was able to do. If she'd been there,
Yeah.
how much of a difference do you think that could have made, you know, down the stretch and in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think about, but try not to think about because it wasn't reality. But our numbers with Bec on the floor were really good all season. And so I know that she's disappointed in the season that she had, not so much from the court, but just with the injuries. But yeah, just having another reliable veteran W player that has been in those situations would have been very valuable.
Thanks, Jeff.
Awesome. Thank you.